Hi, boys and girls. Today we're doing Chapter 11, Lesson 7. This one is called Problem Solving Work Backward. So our learning intention is I'm learning to work backwards so that I have a lot of ways to solve problems. So every chapter we get 2 ways to solve problems, and in this one is working backwards through a problem. So these are the pages that we're going to be doing today, pages 671, 672, and 673. So let's get started. We're going to do all 3 together. So you're just going to copy everything that I do. Okay. So let's look at this word problem. Billy's picnic starts at 6:15 p.m. He needs to bake 3 dozen cookies. It takes 10 minutes to bake 1 dozen cookies. He will need another 20 minutes to get ready and 15 minutes to walk there. What is the latest time he can begin to prepare in order to be on time for the picnic? So first of all, let's look at the facts that we know. The time the picnic starts, we know that one. So I'm going to type this in here. Okay, the time the picnic starts. And how long it takes to bake cookies, get ready, and walk there. I need to move this out of my way. It's bothering me. Okay, what do you need to find? The latest time Billy can begin his preparations. Okay, so let's make a plan. We're going to use the work backwards strategy. I'm using the read backwards strategy, apparently. Okay, that was a joke. All right, so we're going to use a number line like we've been learning, and we're going to mark everything in reverse order. So like I showed you in class, your start time is your very first tick mark, but we don't know the start time. So if I were drawing this number line, I would put a question mark there. And then the party starts at 6:15. We know that time. So our beginning time for getting ready for the party is unknown, and the end time to get ready for the party, because we have to be there by then, is 6:15. So we're going to work backwards through the times to see what time we need to start getting prepared. So it starts at 6:15, so it takes him 15 minutes to walk there. So let me grab a clock really quickly. My husband is listening to something that's very noisy, so if you could ignore the background noise, that would be a good thing. Because I could tell him to stop, but then I have to stop videoing, so just kind of ignore it. It's just music. Okay, so 6:15. I'm going to set my clock for 6:15. So my hour is just past the 6. My big hand needs to be at 15 minutes. So I'm going to count by 5s. 5, 10, 15. So that's 6:15 right there. Now I'm going backwards in time. So I'm going to go back 15 minutes. 5, 10, 15. So since I'm at the o'clock, I can move my hand, backwards to the o'clock. So it is now 6 o'clock. Now I'm going to go back 20 minutes because it takes 20 minutes for him to get ready. So since I'm going into the hour before 6, I need to move my hour hand back into the hour of 5, and I'm going to go backwards 20 minutes. 5, 10, 15, 20. So now the time is 5, and then I need to see what time, how many minutes after the hour of 5. So I'm going to count by 5s, going around the clock, starting at the 12. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So you can see here that I've written 5:40 on my timeline. Okay, then to bake the cookies, each dozen cookies takes 10 minutes to bake. So I'm going back 10 minutes. So from 5:40, I go back 10 minutes. 5:10, I'm now at 5:30. I go back 10 more minutes, 5:10. I'm now at 5:20. And then I go back 10 more minutes, 5:10. I'm at 5:10. That's the time, the very latest time that I can start preparing. So I'm going to put in here that Billy needs to start preparing by 5:10. Where'd my 0 go? Whoa, that was weird. Okay. So does our answer make sense? Well, let's add up our minutes. We have 30 plus 20 is 50. And then 15 more is 65, which is an hour and 5 minutes. So if we start at 6:15, okay, and we go back 1 hour, so there's 1 hour, and we go back 5 more minutes, we're now at 5:10, and that's the answer. So it makes sense. All right, let's go on to the next page. I'm going to take our clock with us. It took Liam 80 minutes to complete a jigsaw puzzle. He finished at 2:40 p.m. What time did he start? Well, first we're going to say what facts we know. So we know that he took 80 minutes to complete the puzzle. And we know he finished at 2:40. Okay, what do we need to find? Well, what does our question ask us? The question asks us, what time did he start? So we're going to write that. Okay, so what is our plan? Well, what strategy are we working on? We're learning to work backwards, right? So the plan is I will work backward. And the reason is because I know what time it ends. I don't know what time it starts. That's my unknown. So now I'm going to go down here and I'm going to draw my number line. Okay, here's my number line. And I'm going to make a tick mark for my start time and a tick mark for my end time. Now I already know I don't know my start time, so I'm going to put a question mark there. Ooh, that's a really nice question mark for writing it with my mouse. Okay. I try to give myself credit whenever I can for doing something good with my mouse. Okay, we know he finished at 2:40. So our finishing tick mark, our end time, is going to be 2:40. Okay. And they told us it takes 80 minutes. Well, I know there's 60 minutes in an hour, so 80 minutes is more than an hour. So I'm going to go back 60 minutes because that's 1 hour. So I'm going to put a tick mark here in the middle. This is 1 hour. So I'm going to set my clock for 2:40. So my little hand needs to go just after the 2 because that's the hour. And then I need to find 40 minutes. Let me move the clock down. And I'm going to skip count to 40 minutes. Here we go. Ready? Oops. Okay, try that again. I grabbed the edge of the clock by accident. Okay, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So my big hand needs to go to the 8. Okay, so that is 2:40. Now I want to go back 1 hour. So I'm just going to move the little hand back 1 hour. I don't need to move the big hand because really all that's technically moving is the hour hand because the minute hand's going to land in the same spot again, so I don't need to move it. So now I'm going to look at the time. So the hour is now 1, The minutes are still 40. So under this tick mark, I'm going to write 140. Okay. And then it's 80 minutes total. I already used up 60 in my 1 hour here. So I have 20 minutes left. So now I'm going to make my clock go backwards in time 20 minutes. 5, 10, 15, 20. I don't need to move the hour hand because it didn't touch the 12. So I don't need to back it up an hour. So now I'm at the 4. So now I'm going to count by 5s till I get to the 4, starting at 12. Here we go. 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay. So my beginning time, let me label this here before I forget. So this was 20 minutes. Because 80 minutes is equal to 1 hour and 20 minutes. So my beginning time, the latest that he can start is 1:20. So that is my start time, 1:20. So now I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to check, does my answer make sense? Well, if I want to go back 80 minutes from 2:40, okay, I go back here to 40 minutes. 2:40. I'm going to count back 80 minutes. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Now I have to move my hand back. Okay. 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80. I ended at 1:20. So that is correct. So does it make sense? Yes. Explain, comma, because 80 minutes before 2:40 is 1:20. Okay. All right, so let's do the third page together. Anything I write, you need to write on this page. Okay, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so we don't have any distractions. We're going to solve each problem by working backward. This clock did this to me earlier, and I don't know why it does this. Let me see if I can do it with my finger. I don't know why it keeps jumping away. Let's see. It's on the crosshairs. Okay, let's make it big. There we go. Get it over here, squish it down. I only want to use it if I need it. Okay, Ava added an additional 35 milliliters of water to a vase. She then poured out 10 milliliters of water. Now she has 26 milliliters of water left in the vase. How much water was in the vase to begin with? Okay, so she added 35 milliliters. I'm going to mark this up here with my marker. So she added 35 milliliters to a vase. She poured out, she minused 10 milliliters, and her total that she has, this should equal 26 milliliters. How much water was in the vase to begin with? Okay, so she's got 26. I'm going to write this in my finger. So she has 26 milliliters of water now. She poured out 10. So if I'm working backwards, I need to use the inverse operation. Okay, so she needs to add 10. So 6 plus 0, because we always start adding in the ones place first. 6 plus 0 is 6. 2 plus 1 is 3. Now she added 35 milliliters, so we need to have her subtract 35 milliliters. So 35 milliliters minus, 36 milliliters. I goofed. me grab my eraser real quick. Okay. Okay, 36 milliliters minus 35 milliliters is 1 milliliter. So let's check our answer. If she started with 1 milliliter, she added 35, that is 36 milliliters. Now if she subtracts 10, that's 26, and that's what she ended up with. So she started with 1 milliliter of water. She started with 1 milliliter of water. Okay, let's go to the next one. Kenya left home for her aunt's house at 8:15 a.m. She arrived at her aunt's house 2 hours, 50 minutes later. What time did she arrive? Write the time in words and numbers. Okay, so she left at 8:15. Let's make a number line. So her start time was 8:15. Okay, we want to know what time she got there. We don't know. This is not a work backwards problem. But I find this math book teaches you one thing and tells you you're going to be practicing the same thing and throws something else at you. But let's just go with it. So Kenya left home for her aunt's house at 8:15 a.m. She arrived at her aunt's house 2 hours and 50 minutes later. So let's go ahead and just do the 2 hours in one group here. And then we're going to do 50 minutes here. And that will give us the time. So 8:15, I'm going to move my little hand to past the 8, because it's not 8 o'clock, it has to be past the 8. And the big hand at the 3, because that's 15. So let me count that out for you so you see it, for those of you who are still having trouble telling time. Okay, so we're going to start from the 12. We're going to go 5, 10, 15. Okay, so there's 8:15. All right, so she arrived at her aunt's house 2 hours and 50 minutes later. So let's take the little hand and move it 2 hours. 1, 2. The hour is now 10. The minutes are still 15. So we're going to mark 10:15 here. And then we're going to add 50 minutes to it. I'm going to switch colors, and we're going to skip count 50 minutes. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Now, I'm going to have to go past the 12, which tells me I'm going to have to move the hour hand. Okay, and that was 45 minutes, and I need to go 5 more. 50. So my little hand is going to be at the 1. My big hand is at the 1. My little hand's at the 11. So my hour is 11, and the minutes after the hour is 5. So I'm going to put 0, 5. Okay? So the time is 11:05. Now it says write the time in words and numbers. So writing the time in words, I'm going to write 11:05. Okay, that's exactly what I say in words. In numbers, I'm going to type 11:05. Okay, so she left in the AM, so she still is getting there in the AM. It hasn't gone past noon, so we'll label it with AM. Okay, so Cyril played at the park with 5 friends for 30 minutes, 7 friends for 1 hour, 2 friends for 15 minutes. He arrived at the park at 1 o'clock p.m. What time did he leave the park? So I need to look at my question first. We want to know, because we have a lot of different numbers in there. And this is a time when kids go, oh, look at all the numbers, I'll add them up. But that's not what you need to do. Look at your question first. What time did he leave the park? So we're going to highlight that. Oops, that's not a highlighter. That is a yellow marker. So let's hit the highlighter. There we go. Pink. We'll use the pink. What time did he leave the park? So we want to know about time. We don't care about the friends. So we want to highlight 30 minutes, 1 hour and 15 minutes. When you guys take that CASP test next year, and if you have a math problem like this on the iReady test, this is a good time to highlight or write down on your scratch paper just the ones that pertain to time. And if you have a way of striking through information, you don't need the 5 friends, you don't need the 7 friends, and you don't need the 2 friends. We just need times. Okay, and we also need to make note of the fact that he arrived at the park at 1 p.m. So we need to know that. So let's go ahead and draw our number line. And we know he got there at 1 o'clock. We do not know when he's leaving. They've asked us to work backwards. And again, we are not working backwards, but whatever. Okay, so 1 o'clock. So let me set the clock for 1 o'clock. So it's going to be on the 1 because the big hand's going to be on the o'clock. The o'clock is the 12, so there's 1 o'clock. So now I'm going to change my time 1 hour. I'm going to do 1 hour first because that's easy to change. So 1 hour, I'm going to move my little hand 1 hour to the 2. We're going forward in time. So this one is 2 o'clock. Okay, then he played for 30 minutes. So I'm going to put 30 minutes in here. And I'm going to move my hand, ignore this from a mistake I made earlier. Get rid of this. Okay, so I'm going to skip count 30 minutes with my big hand. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay, so and I need to move the little hand past the 2 because it's past 2 o'clock. So now it is at 2:30. Now I need to go 15 more minutes. So I'm going to move my big hand 15 minutes. 5, 10, 15. So now I just need to see what time that is. So it's the hour of 2, and I need to see how many minutes past 2 o'clock. So I'm going to skip count. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So it is 2:45. And I'm going to type, he left the park at 2:45 p.m. Okay. Next one. Toya celebrated her birthday in March, 4 months after joining the swim team. 2 months after joining the swim team, she swam in her first meet. What month did she swim in her first meet? So we don't need the clock for this, so I'm going to move it out of the way in this weird way that I have. Oops, wait a minute. There we go. I'll just kick it over there. Okay, so she celebrated her birthday in March. So what I would do is I would write the months of the year. Just make a list. So January, I'll make it smaller in a second. Otherwise it's going to take up the whole box. February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. Okay, so these are the months of the year. Now we'll get into what's what. Okay, so Toya celebrated her birthday in March, 4 months after joining the swim team. So her birthday is in March. So we're going to highlight March. Okay. Now, that's 4 months after joining the swim team. So if we go back 4 months, 1, 2. What month is before January? Oops, I didn't write December, did I? That's weird. There we go. Okay, so we still need to be counting backwards, but we have to go into the previous year. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we went back to November. So she joined the swim team in November, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 months later is her birthday. 2 months after joining the team, she swam in her first meet. So let's switch colors. So she joined the team in November. So 2 months later, she swam in her first meet. So we're going to count 2 months. 1, 2. So what month did she swim in her first meet? January. She swam in her first meet in January. I'll make this smaller so you can see it. It fits nicely on the line. We are almost done. Okay, so on this last one, this is a puzzle. These are really challenging. So we don't know what number we are going to be starting with. This is our unknown right here. So let me read it to you. Work through this puzzle to find the number of minutes it took Logan to clean his room. Add 8 to a number. When you subtract 10 from the sum and double the difference, you get 44. What is the number? So this number here is the one we don't know. We know that we'll have to add 8. We know that we have to subtract 10. And we know that we need to double the difference to get 44. This is the key to it right there. So 44, now remember we're working backwards. So when you double the difference, double means 2 times. Okay, the opposite of 2 times is divided by 2. So if we do 44 divided by 2, that equals 22. 22 plus 22 is 44. Okay. Now, when you subtract 10 from the sum and double the difference, you get 44. So instead of subtracting, we're going to add, because we're working backwards, we're going to add 10. So that's 32. Okay. And then in order to find the original number, instead of adding 8, we're going to subtract 8. So 32 minus 8. So we're going to do it up here. 32 minus 8. So go to your ones place. 2 minus 8, you cannot do that. So you're going to have to borrow from the 3, make it a 2, make this 2 into a 12. 12 minus 8 is 4. 2 minus nothing is 2. So it is 24. Let's work the other way and see if it works. So if this number is 24, let me change colors. Okay, add 8 to a number. So 24 plus 8. 4 plus 8 is 12. Put down the 2, carry the 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. You'll see that we had 32 here. So that lets us know that we're on the right track. Subtract 10 from the sum. So 32 minus 10 equals 22. Then we double the difference, we get 44. So 22 times 2 is 44. So it worked forwards and backwards. We got the right answer. The number is 24. Okay, there you go. That's it. That's the working backwards strategy.